Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to be doing our Unit 5 spelling lesson. Our learning targets are I can read words with silent E on the end with a long O and the soft S sound of C followed by E. I will review words with a silent E on the end with a long A and I. Last week, remember that we found out that Mr. E gave the silent magic E a wand and a top hat to do magic to where he could sprinkle over one letter to make the vowel man appear. And we learned the letters that we had was Mr. A that popped out, and we also had Mr. I that popped out. And this week, we're going to learn about Clever Cat, who turns into Semi Snake. And the magic E, it's called the blue magic. And with the blue magic, his wand does two different tricks. The first one is he shoots sparks at Clever Cat and makes it turn into Semi Snake. And Semi Snake says his s sound. But he also shoots his sparks over that C to the vowel that is over here and makes the vowel man appear. So if you see the C and the E this week, it's going to make the S sound. But it's also going to make the vowel man appear because the blue magic E is doing double duty here. Also, we have Magic E that's shooting his sparks over one letter and going to make Mr. O pop out. He's going to yell his name if there is a magic silent E on the end. So let's get into the lesson. Let's look here. We have the letters H-O-P. We're going to find our vowel, which is this O right here. And we notice that this O has a P right beside it. So that tells us that this word is going to make that O the short O sound. So it's a closed syllable. So we have the word hop. So this is a closed syllable because it has the Oscar orange. Now, if we were to change and put a magic E on the end, our magic E would sprinkle dust over here across this one letter, and Oscar Orange would no longer be there, and Mr. O would appear. So we would have hope. Magic E sprinkles his dust over one letter and only one letter and makes Mr. O pop out. Now, let's look at this word. We notice that there's an O here, and we notice that there is an E here. So we know that the sparks are going to shoot over and we're going to have an O here. But we also know that with this letter S that there can be two different sounds. It can either be Sammy Snake that says S, or it can be Sleeping Sammy who says Z. So let's look, and we're going to first try and see if this is Sammy Snake. So let's first try N-O-S. No S. Does that make sense? It doesn't, does it? So let's try the next one. N-O-Z. Nose. So in this word, the S is the semi-snake. So if you're not sure, if you come to a word and you see that Magic E's on the end and he's going to sprinkle his dust, that this is going to be an O, but you also have to look at the S and figure out which sound the S is going to make. Is it going to say S or is it going to say Z? And in this case, we have the word nose, and it's Sleeping Sammy. Our next word, here we have our blue magic. We've got Clever Cat that's been turned into Sammy Snake. So Sammy Snake is going to make that C say S. But we also have the magic E that sprinkles this over. So we've got Mr. A that comes out. So let's tap this out. A-S. Face. So we have the word face here. Our next word, we've got, it's a syllable, it's 2 syllables. We've got ad and then v-i-s. Ad, v-i-s. Advice. We've got our blue magic going on, so that C says S. Mr. I pops out in our second rail car, but here we have the first, and that's any apple. All right, let's look at this word. This is another CE. Let's look at it. And we know the blue magic, Sammy Snake, that C's going to make the S sound. S. And Mr. A's going to pop out. So let's tap this one out. S. A. S. Space. Very good. Now, here we have any apple. And any apple's tree has gotten so full that the apples are beginning to fall. And Uppy Umbrella don't want any apple to get bruised. So whenever she starts to fall, he catches her letter and he gently brings her down to the ground. And when she hits the ground, she says, So here, this A says, So in a word today, this week, we're going to hear her saying, So let's look at this word. At the beginning of this, we hear, all by herself. We've got the Magic E's doing his sprinkles over one consonant, making Mr. O-Man come out. So we have, own, alone. We have the word alone. All right, boys and girls, this is our spelling lesson for today. You will go off of here and then you'll go to the lesson that says it's unit 2, level 2, your level 2, unit 5, look, say, cover, write. And you'll be doing your look, say, cover, write next.